Chodesh Tov and good afternoon. Today is the first day of the month of Sivan, which is the day when the Jewish people, over 3,300 years ago, arrived at the foot of Mount Sinai, the greatest revelation that ever happened in the history of the world, when God revealed himself and his essence through the Ten Commandments and the Torah to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. And the truth is that it wasn't just a one-day event, but it's something that has impacted this world and impacted the way the Jewish people view the world to this very day. I always tell people when we sit down at our Shabbos dinner, when we speak about the power and the beauty of Judaism, that in Judaism, we always celebrate the material blessings that God has given us and seek ways to elevate it. For example, at our Shabbos dinner, we have delicious food and delicacies and wines and scotches and chicken and meat. Yet we make the blessings and we sing the songs and we celebrate Shabbos thereby blessing it. And I always tell people that's the difference between the rabbi and the priest. The rabbi has 10 kids and the priest is celibate. It's a silly joke, but it's the truth of the way Jewish people view materialism and our engagement with it. Because the Talmud tells us something fascinating. And when God gave the Torah, until then there was a decree that materialism and spirituality don't mix. The spiritual, which is heaven, doesn't come to earth. And materialism, which is earth, doesn't go to heaven. But when God gave us the Torah on Mount Sinai, it's when heaven kissed earth. And at that moment, God gave us the power to elevate, to engage the material, and to elevate it and to bring it to a higher level. And that's why the Rebbe always taught us that everything that happens in this world and everything that God gives us is there to be used for spirituality. Any material successes, any technology, any new resources are there because God wants us to use it to make this world a more spiritual and better place. And that's why when the cable TV came out, I remember, and many people shunned and worried what TV would do with all the filth that you could find in it. And the Rebbe, what did the Rebbe do? The Rebbe started broadcasting his Hasidic Farbrengens and gatherings where they spoke Torah for hours onto cable TV. The Rebbe said, yes, materialism could be dangerous, but we need to engage it and elevate it to a higher level. And the Rebbe says that even in the books of the Torah, you see the same thing. You see, this week we begin reading the book of Bamidbar, which is Sefer HaPikudim, the fourth book, which speaks about the Jewish people in the desert. And the Rebbe says if you look at the order of the first 4 books of the Torah, you will see that even that is designed in the way we view the world. The first book is Bereshit. First begins with creation. When God created a mundane world, a world that seeked and looked void of God, where godliness is hidden. And sometimes you could think that there is no God. That was the first thing, Bereshit. God created a world which eventually he will be able to be manifested, where God will be revealed and will become a home for God. Then came Shemot. In Shemot we have the tabernacle, the commandment to build in this world a place for God to dwell, for his spirituality, for his holiness to be amongst us in this physical world. That's Shemot. So you start with Genesis, with creation. And then you go to Shemot, recognizing that we need to build a tabernacle. And then you have Leviticus. Leviticus speaks about the sacrifices that were brought in the temple. You took a mundane animal and you brought it and you made it holy through bringing it as a sacrifice in the temple. And in our own life, it really means taking that animal, that animalistic part of us, and bringing it to God, bringing it to the temple, making it more holy. But then comes Bamidbar. Bamidbar teaches us that you got to go out to the desert. That not only do you bring holiness into the world by bringing the animal to God, but you bring the God to the animal. The desert teaches us that in the materialism, we can't keep Torah only in the shul, only in the clouds. We have to bring it out to the world, to permeate, to impact every single place. And that's what Bamidbar is when God gave the Jewish people the Torah. And it always comes before Shavuot. But it's the message that God in creation built a world, and he wanted us to build a tabernacle, and he wanted us to bring our materialism to the world. But he also wanted us to recognize that we can't only stay in our shuls, and we can't only stay in our yeshivas, but we need to take that spirituality, we need to take that holiness and bring it out and share it with the world, to make this world a place where heaven stays connected to earth, where when heaven kissed earth, it continues. And may it be. We have a lot of work to do. Let's get ready for Shavuot by bringing God into this world and making this world a place of spirituality. That's so needed. God bless you.